Mont-Saint-Michel. The island lies approximately 1 kilometer, 1/2 nautical mile, off France's northwestern coast, at the mouth of the Couesnon River near Avranches, and is 7 hectares, 17 acres, in area. The mainland part of the commune is 393 hectares, 971 acres, in area, so that the total surface of the commune is 400 hectares, 990 acres. As of 2019, the island has a population of 29. The commune's position, on an island just a few hundred meters from land, made it accessible at low tide to the many pilgrims to its abbey, and defensible as the incoming tide stranded, drove off, or drowned threats on foot. Formation. Now a rocky tidal island, the mount occupied dry land in prehistoric times. As sea levels rose, erosion reshaped the coastal landscape, and several outcrops of granite emerged in the bay, having resisted the wear and tear of the ocean better than the surrounding rocks. These included Lillemer, Mont-Dol, Tourmaline, the island just to the north, and Mont-Tourme, later called Mont-Saint-Michel. Tides. The tides vary greatly, at roughly 14 meters, 46 feet, between highest and lowest water marks. Popularly nicknamed St. Michael in peril of the sea by medieval pilgrims making their way across the flats, the mount can still pose dangers for visitors who avoid the bridge and attempt the hazardous walk across the sands from the neighboring coast. Polarization and occasional flooding have created salt marsh meadows that were found to be ideally suited to grazing sheep. Agneau de Presale, salt meadow, salt marsh lamb, a local specialty that may be found on the menus of restaurants that depend on income from the many visitors to the mount. From the 8th century onward. Before the construction of the first monastic establishment in the 8th century, the island was called Mont-Tourme, Latin, Tumba. According to a legend, the archangel Michael appeared in 708 to Aubert of Avranches, the bishop of Avranches, and instructed him to build a church on the rocky islet. Unable to defend his kingdom against the assaults of the Vikings, the king of the Franks agreed to grant the Cotentin Peninsula and the Avranchin, including Mont-Saint-Michel, traditionally linked to the city of Avranches, to the Bretons in the Treaty of Compiègne. This marked the beginning of a brief period of Breton possession of the Marne. In fact, these lands and Mont-Saint-Michel were never really included in the Duchy of Brittany. Around 989 to 990, these traditional bishoprics, dependent of the Archbishopric of Rouen and that had been left vacant during the time of the Viking raids, regained their bishops. The mount gained strategic significance again in 933 when William I Longsword annexed the Cotentin Peninsula from the weakened Duchy of Brittany. This made the mount definitively part of Normandy, and is depicted in the Bayeux tapestry, which commemorates the Norman conquest. Harold Godwin's son is pictured on the tapestry rescuing 2 Norman knights from the quicksand in the tidal flats during the Breton-Norman War. Norman ducal patronage financed the spectacular Norman architecture of the abbey in subsequent centuries.